Your questioning, Ms. Wasserman Schultz. Now, Mr. Biggs is recognized for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to approach the portion of our titled hearing that talks about academic censorship. And so with that, I'd ask that we watch a videotape that my staff has prepared.
Without objection.
Thank you.
Demonstrating against Ann Coulter, who is here to speak inside Wheeler Hall tonight. Protesters pushed hard against people trying to get inside, as hundreds of demonstrators gathered to try to keep Coulter from giving her speech in the first place.
UC Berkeley canceled Free Speech Week and is paying about $1 million for security still.
UC College Republicans invited Shapiro to speak, and unlike other conservative speakers, he actually made it to the microphone.
The barricades are still up here at UC Berkeley.
They're trying to bring people in 3 at a time. They're trying to bring them in through the back door. They're trying to make sure that people have access. But there's only so much that they can do when the president of this university, who shut down this event in the first place because he's a totalitarian.
Video today reveals the moment UMKC police arrested a protester who they say yelled and threw liquid substance at a speaker last night.
Tempers flared after a conservative commentator, Michael Knowles, started his speech.
There were other protesters there saying the guest speaker was promoting hate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for letting us show that video.
By all means.
One of the things that I've seen repeatedly, and I will be submitting some stuff for the record, I'll just say it until after I question some witnesses, CBP, Customs and Border Patrol agent, showed up at an invited event on the University of Arizona campus in March of 2019. He was attacked, and his presentation was disrupted. And the type of speech used against him was outrageous, calling him murder patrol, KKK on the campus, that type of thing. Kirsten Sinema, senior senator from Arizona, who is also an adjunct professor at ASU. Recently, last October, as a matter of fact, was teaching her class. She went to the restroom. She was followed into the restroom, into the stall, and berated by students who were upset by a vote she had taken in her role as senator. Recently, UVA, the Cavalier Daily, put out a piece saying former Vice President Mike Pence, it would be dangerous for him to come and just speak on campus. Concerned faculty published a counterpoint to that, which is included in my documents that I'll be submitting. In 2021, 111 scholars were targeted because of their political, not even political ideology, just expressing thoughts contrary or heterodox to the entire left-wing campus at these universities. And I'll just, before I get to the questions, I'm almost out of time already. I just have to say, when I was 40 with 6 kids, I had worked at the United Nations, and I went back to get a graduate degree at a local university. And even I felt cowed actually expressing my true opinion, because you understand one thing when you're in graduate school. The professor has your future in their hands. And if you don't acquiesce to what they're saying, or at least salve their point of view sufficiently, you don't get welcomed into the club. So I'll go to Mr. Bedluzny. The First Amendment would apply to state institutions like public colleges and universities. Is that right? And you're going to need the mic on.
Yeah.
Can you explain the importance of free speech in our society, particularly on college campuses, and the dangers to civil society where we stifle that free speech?
Absolutely. As Chairman Raskin pointed out, we need to learn to tolerate the speech that we abhor. That's the only way to rebuild a civil discourse. And the only way for that to occur is for us to feel like we can talk to people who disagree with us fervently, to learn that they're people of goodwill who often want the same good things for society, but just have different ways of getting there.
And can you provide some examples where university administrators at public institutions have sought to constrain speech in a way that runs afoul of the First Amendment's protection for freedom of speech?
I mean, absolutely. They do it in dozens and dozens of ways. One example is overbroad speech policies, where basically offensive speech is forbidden. If offensive speech is forbidden, there are a lot of things you can't talk about, basically anything that's controversial in our sort of social lives. And so they use bias response teams to then enforce these, right, which allows any member of the campus community to file a complaint. The process to investigate the complaint is then deliberately burdensome, right? So you're called to, sometimes police officers are actually on these committees as well, but you're called to have a discussion with the dean. Often it goes public, they publicize it, there may be social media involved from other students who are bystanders, and the goal is to destroy the reputation of the conservative student.
Thank you. I know my time's expired. May I give a...
Well, the problem is they're calling votes in just a few minutes, so I want to try to get at least another person in first.
Okay.
But we're going to do a second round, so I'll make sure.
I may not be here for a second round, but I just want to get these into you. Are you content with me just giving you a stack of these documents and submitting them for the record?
Oh, sure, by all means, by unanimous consent.
Thank you.
With no objection. And now I'm going to come to Ms. Tlaib for her 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you so much, Chairman Raskin. Hi, Lily. How are you?